In the foothills of the Himalayas, the race is on to find the world's most formidable warriors. These are the descendants of Nepal's legendary Gurkhas.
Good.
Fighters so ferocious, they took on the might of the British Army. Stunned by their courage, the UK has enlisted a brigade of Gurkhas for more than 200 years. Today, thousands of young Nepali men compete to join this elite unit. Only a few will make it. Through blood, sweat and tears, 101 East finds out what it takes to join the world's fiercest fighters.
Morning, Baru.
These boys are about to face the toughest 10 days of their lives.
Recruit Intake 2020 Central Selection Ma swagat garchu.
They've beaten thousands of hopefuls to get here, but that's nothing compared to what they'll have to do next.
Aile bata timro ko pakka mauka aipugyo.
Every year, the British Army holds a grueling competition in Nepal to select the newest members of its legendary Gurkha Brigade.
Timro chaunko keta baya daya herna hos. Kun keta safal hunecha. Timi ki timro chaunko.
Many have trained for years to get here.
Every test, every point, every second counts. So you must focus.
The prize is a career as an elite soldier and British passports for the whole family. But they have to be willing to fight and even die for the UK.
Yedi yaso garna tapai taya hunuhun daina bane. Tapai ya bata fakano hos.
Only the brightest and strongest will be selected. For the others, it will be the crushing end of a lifelong dream.
Best effort Dino Parcha, Super Commander.
It's easier to get into Harvard University than to join the British Gurkhas. More than 12,000 boys applied this year, and the Army is going to take less than 4%. Kamal Gurung is hoping to be one of the chosen few. He's from a family of farmers. Life has always been a struggle for them, but this is Kamal's one chance to change that.
The only thing I can think about right now is joining the British Army. There's nothing else. If I succeed, I'll be able to get my parents out of poverty, give them a normal life and all the happiness they deserve.
To prepare for the Gurkha tryouts, Kamal and his best friend Rohit have been at this training centre for the last 2 years. They've both tried and failed to join the British Army before, so this year the pressure is really on.
Obviously, I want both of us to get in, but if only my friend makes it, I won't be sad or jealous. It would be a proud moment for me.
Next door, their friend Kadak is packed and ready to go.
I'll try. I'm excited later, Dad. I'll be dot later, so. Still. Oh, yeah.
Kadak's pretty nervous himself. It'll be life-changing if he's accepted into the Gurkhas.
It's a big thing for me and then for my mother also.
Her only dream is for me to join the British Army so that I can give us a good life, so that I can have a better future.
Kadak's mum raised him in a tiny village with no running water. His father and elder sister died when he was 8. She's all he has.
Father is the head of the family here.
My father was the head of the family, but after he died, all the responsibility fell on my mother's shoulders. Society looked down on her because she was a widow. It was so hard for her to raise and educate me.
Prem Kumari ran a small food stall to support her son, but there was never enough money. She had to borrow from loan sharks to pay for Kadak's Gurkha training. Now she owes about $10,000, more money than she's ever had.
They come and ask me, where's the money? When are you going to give it back? How are you going to pay me? I just wanted to give him a good education so he could stand on his own feet.
Kadak is her only hope. If he gets into the British Army, he'll be able to pay off her debt.
I feel bad ma'am.
I feel really bad that my mother has to ask other people for money. Sometimes these rich people try to humiliate us. I hate it, but we have to put up with this. There's a lot of pressure. When I feel like quitting, I remember everything she sacrificed, and that motivates me to keep going.
All of this hope and sacrifice is about to come to a head. Finally, it's the first day of the physical tests. In the crowd of anxious boys, I spot best friends Kamal and Rohit.
There is definitely a lot of competition. It's really tough because there are limited places. You have to be very mentally and physically fit.
Okay, stand by. Yes, sir. Go.
For the next week, these boys will run, jump, push and pull their bodies to their absolute limits.
Good.
In the end, only a few will make it. With more than 700 boys in the fray, I'm keeping an eye out for Rohit and Kamal. They're off to a great start. Their years of training seem to be paying off. In race after race, they're finishing near the top of their group. But the competition is fierce, and there's no margin for error. With their future at stake, Kamal and Rohit are giving it their all, and they're scoring well.
I've wanted to join the British Army since I was 7 or 8 years old. This is my biggest dream. If I succeed, I'll be so proud.
But their trial is far from over. All the boys have to pass a medical, and it's the one test they can't prepare for. Kadak says some of their friends have already failed it.
बाहिर यहाँ normal hospitalमा चेक गरेर जाँदाखेरि चाहिँ उनीहरुलाई के
Their medical checkup in a normal hospital came out fine. There was no problem. But in the camp, for some reason, they failed. I'm a little worried. There's a chance that I'll fail.
For 2 days, the boys will be poked and prodded to make sure they have no hidden illnesses or injuries.
Down, hold, and up.
Everything from their joints to their teeth will be examined.
Any problems? Please sit up.
And not everyone will pass.
48 41 त्यसपछि त्यहाँ चाहिँ नेपाली डाक्टरहरु हुनुहुन्छ सिस्टरहरु हुनुहुन्छ
Suddenly, Kadak and Kamal are pulled aside. Their tests picked up a heart murmur, and now they're heading to hospital for a thorough checkup. Doctors have to do an ultrasound to make sure their hearts are functioning normally. If they're not, the boys will be disqualified.
This is so incredibly stressful. These boys have waited, some of them for years, to get to this stage, to join the Gurkhas, and this test could mean the end of their dreams.
It takes just a few minutes, but the doctors aren't giving anything away. We'll have to wait for the results back at the camp. The uncertainty is excruciating. If they fail, they'll have to leave immediately.
401
I'm really hoping that both Kamal and Kadak have passed. But at the gate, it's clear the news isn't good.
I'm so sorry, Kadak. How are you doing?
Kadak's tests showed an abnormality with his heart. Prolonged, intense exercise could cause sudden death. He can never be a soldier in the British Army.
What do you plan to do?
Now I'm planning to go my home. That's it.
To your mother's home, back to the village? Have you had a chance to speak with her?
I don't want to come.
Okay. All right.
Kadak has spent 2 years and his family thousands of dollars training to become a Gurkha. All of it has been for nothing. Back in the camp, Kamal is the last one to find out his results. After what happened to Kadak, I'm worried he'll also be sent home.
Did you pass? Yes. Congratulations! Were you nervous?
A lot.
Because you were sent to the hospital as well.
That was so sad moment for us. And our one of the friend, Karak, he has gone to home.
Yeah, were you sad to see Karak go?
I know how hard it is. I can feel that pressure and that tension.
Good afternoon, bhaiharu sampurnalai hai.
Outside, the staff are finally able to give the remaining boys the good news.
अहिलेसम्म जे जति तपाईहरुले मेडिकल गर्नुभयो हो त्यो सम्पूर्ण तपाईहरु मेडिकली फिट हुनुभएको छ है त्यसैले हैन
For now, Kamal and Rohit are both safe and they can call their families.
Hello? Mummy? Hello?
म यहाँ क्याम्पबाट फोन गरेको के मेरो फिजिकलहरु सबै कट्यो.
But the stress of the last few days has taken a toll on Kamal. He's lost his confidence.
फोन गर्छु अझै बाँकी छ के रे अब धेरै आश चाहिँ नगर्नु खासै राम्रो नि भएन. ल ल ल ल ल हस् राखे बाइ.
Rohit also gets through to his mum.
Hello? Hello? Mommy?
This is his last chance to get into the British Army. They won't let him try again because he's already failed twice.
When I didn't get in, I was devastated. I just wanted to be alone. I was living away from my family. I felt like, in their eyes, I was a failure. I couldn't bear it. I just couldn't move on.
Rohit's mother says she tried to support him, but the whole family was devastated.
It makes me so sad. I can't stop my tears when I think about it. It's hard to see your child work so hard and still fail. We tried to console him. We told him he could try again because there was time. But inside, we also felt hurt.
She has used all the family's savings to pay for Rohit's training, and that's put enormous pressure on him.
He has worked really hard. His hands were full of blisters, and his back was totally bruised because he carried those heavy baskets. He would try so hard.
For 2 long years, Rohit's family have watched him struggle with his disappointment. They're now bracing themselves for whatever happens next.
We're hoping that he'll get in, but I've told him that in case he doesn't, don't be sad. Control yourself. I'll come and get you and bring you home.
Their wait is almost over. The results are out in just a few days. But the boys have one last chance to impress the recruiters. Tomorrow is their final physical test, the infamous doko race. Each boy has to carry a doko or bamboo basket filled with 15 kilograms of sand, and they have to do it while sprinting up a mountain. Today, they're making sure their baskets are tied securely. Rohit seems pretty happy with his, but Kamal is having trouble. After a lot of trial and error, his basket is ready, but it feels like a bad omen. Finally, it's race day, and the boys are raring to go at the crack of dawn. Kamal's in the front row wearing blue shorts.
Stand by.
It's a steep 5.8 kilometres to the top, along winding, rough roads.
You can do it, yes. You can draw. Yeah.
With the Annapurna Ranges towering above, the views are spectacular. But the only thing the boys are looking at is the competition. This is not just a test of strength. It's a test of sheer determination.
So your jaws.
Long after their bodies feel like giving up, it's their minds that will push them to the finish line. By the time the boys get here, some can barely stand.
Oh my gosh.
Rohit is one of the first in his group to reach the top in just over 30 minutes. But Kamal is nowhere in sight. Eventually, I spot him. He looks absolutely exhausted.
Yeah, were you happy with how it went?
I'm happy to complete the doko race, but not satisfied with the time.
Oh, why? Why?
Because my finishing time was a bit slow than I used to do.
Do you think that's going to be a problem?
Yes, of course it's gonna be a problem because there are lots of boys who has done pretty good.
Ever since his scare at the hospital, Kamal has been struggling. But he could still be selected if his overall score is high. He won't have to wait long to find out. At the camp, the moment of truth has arrived.
तिमीहरुको आफ्नो टेस्ट नम्बर बोलाउँछु टेस्ट नम्बर बोलाएपछि यतापट्टि आउने टेस्ट नम्बरमा नाम भन्छु बुझ्यो
One by one, each boy will be told if he got in.
439 मिराज गुरुङ
There's only 432 places and more than 700 hopefuls. Kamal is one of the first to be called in. After years of hard work, it will take just seconds to learn his fate. At the camp gate, families are also waiting for the results. Boys who failed are coming out, and with them is Kamal.
Kamal, are you okay?
People try to console him, but he's not stopping for anyone.
It's just awful. Kamal had tears in his eyes coming out and he didn't want to talk to us, and I don't really blame him.
Inside, Rohit is still hopeful. But he's one of the last boys left on the field. Finally, it's his turn.